Welcome back to another episode of the Jacksonville Buzz. Here on Making a Difference, we have Greg Tarnacki from 18Loop. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Steve.
It's good to see you again.
Great to see you as well.
Well, thanks for coming back. I would love to talk about what is 18Loop for some folks that may not know. And then we're here to talk about some really significant things that you're doing for kids.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm very excited to talk about it and happy to be back.
Yes, sir.
18Loop is a nonprofit organization, a 501c3, that deploys virtual reality headsets to kids with cancer through a partnership with the American Childhood Cancer Organization. And so VR helps those kids in so many ways to tolerate their treatment, to recover, and to thrive. And we now have 100 VR headsets in over 32 states in the United States. So it's very, very exciting. And this month is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month.
Yep. So I do a lot of work with Alex's Lemonade Stand, which is for childhood cancer. So I'm familiar with some of the things. I mean, nobody likes cancer and everybody loves kids. So, you put those two together. What are you doing in the VR? So I think VR space, right? My first thing is Xbox or PlayStation, whichever your preference is. What are you doing with a VR headset that is helping a child going through cancer to recover both physically and mentally?
Well, VR does a lot of different things. When we first got started deploying VR, we thought it would do something, it would have an impact of some kind. And now we realize there are a bunch of different areas that it's impactful. And so we deploy a software called Trip, based out of Los Angeles, and it's virtual meditation and helps with mood. And so it's literally imagery and sounds in VR that help you neurologically, and they're optimized to affect your brain. And when they do, it's a form of digital meditation that's really wonderful and has an ancillary benefit for pain as well. So there's that aspect. And there's also the fact that VR can help you with exercise, with immersive learning and education, and a bunch of other areas. And so there's a pretty big, wide impact for VR with the kids, and we're looking to measure all of that.
That is amazing. So yeah, we know it's technology has really evolved, and of course, if we look at it over time, technology has evolved, quicker as we go, almost exponentially now. What is the thing that the kids appreciate the most? Like, here's a VR headset, here's software, you're not alienated, isolated, alone anymore, you're connected to the world. What do the kids love the most about this?
I think it's all the different areas that we impact them. There's certainly a benefit there, but there's a certain aspect of it, of course, depending on your treatment, what you're going through, where you're just isolated. There's an isolation, and it connects you in a way as well. So one of the things we're looking at is VR for collaboration. There are things that can be done to bring people together in VR, and there also can be things done to entertain them and to help them to grow and fight the disease.
Now, this is cool, don't get me wrong, but this is not just something that's cool. This is actually something that is being studied. And I know we were talking a little bit offset.
Sure.
Would love to hear a little bit about some of the studies that are being conducted on what this is doing to help these kids. And of course, this then bridges into much more of society after we get through this. It's just like a tip of the iceberg thing.
Absolutely, yeah. So there's a whole industry around health and wellness VR now that didn't exist even 5 or 10 years ago. We belong to the International VR Healthcare Association, and there are a bunch of companies that come together to look at quantitative and qualitative measurement, a lot of the different areas that VR can impact, not just pediatrics, but also adults as well. And so that's a big part of what they look at. We are, as a study, working on two separate things. So we work with the American Childhood Cancer Organization, who again is the organization that helps connect us to kids. And we're also working with VR for Health, who's a partner of ours, on doing measurement of the impact of these environments in a study in Michigan. So both places conducting research and gathering data on the impact.
And what is doing a research study, obviously the impact is to be determined, but what are some of the things that you're looking to glean from this research? Because you put a headset on a kid, they're like, wow, this is really cool, right? But now you're looking at some really important metaphysical, cranial, biological changes by doing this? Like, what's the goal of that research study? What are they trying to find?
Oh, wow, Steve, I wish we had,
That's a conversation for a whole other dialogue.
There are a whole bunch of neuroscientists and people that look at these kind of things. But certainly we're measuring mood based on respiratory and, cardio response. So, your heart rate and your breathing are things that are measured in a hospital type study. Some of it is, qualitative feedback. How does this feel to you? What does it look like? How does it work based on your own opinion of your experience within VR? Some of it is the benefit from a recovery perspective. So if you're looking at exercise, for instance, VR for exercise helps you. If you've ever been in a hospital and seen someone who's unfortunately sick, they have an IV bag and it's connected to like a rolling stalk, and you walk around. Well, VR helps you to get very engaged in the hospital. So if you're doing chemo, you can flush that chemo out of your system, and it helps you to recover. So there are really a lot of different areas and a lot of different measurements, and we really want to look at them all, and we're working on it as best we can.
That is an absolutely fascinating concept. The last time you were here, it left me thinking for days. It's like, well, you've got this device that goes up here, but it affects all of the body. Obviously the brain and is between your ears type of thing. The research study and all the things that you're doing is obviously going to be on your website. So we'll make sure to hang that on iwannabuzz.com, and
Absolutely.
It's going to be interesting to see kind of what this looks like in 10 years. I mean, you talk about tip of the iceberg stuff. This is absolutely fascinating, and I really appreciate what you're doing for kids, man.
Thank you very much. It's the last thing that I'd like to say is if you'd like to donate, go to ACCO.org, which is the American Childhood Cancer Organization. They're our partner. This is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. That money will go to great fundraising capability for them, and potentially to VR as well.
And we'll make sure to hang those on our website as well at the iwannabuzz.com, so that they can click through to that too as well. Great to see you, man. Thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
It's really not just awesome, but it's really cool what you're doing, but it's cool for kids.
Thanks for having me on, Steve.
Guys, thanks for joining us on Making a Difference. If you like us, share us. Remember, live with gratitude.